Hello racing fans, welcome to another edition of Handicappers Corner presented by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, and along with Drew Forster we're going to go through the Sunday, July 15th races at Hastings Racecourse. We do have 8 on tap, feature race for fillies and mares.
Yeah, some good races today.
Yeah, some excellent races on the 8-race program, excellent conditions, fast racing strip. Let's get them some winners.
Yeah, sunny, beautiful Sunday fun day at the races. The first race, a really good race. A lot of times you see your first race maybe an on 2-4, an 8 and 5 or something like that. Today we get right into it, an optional 40 for fillies and mares. Yeah, and I've gone to the one Burning Britches. Ran a bang-up race. She's more of a sprinter. Ran a bang-up race in a sprint stake. Run second to Overvalued. Going long wasn't really her gig. She goes back to a sprint and optional 40, which she fits snugly into, and I think she's the horse to beat in here. I have her on top. The second spot, I have another horse that's been battling in the stakes caliber all year long. She dropped out in an allowance race once and won. Yeah. Is Castanet Dancer, the 4. I have her in second spot. And in the third spot, I put number 3, another horse that's been running at this level. Ran into some tough horses with Turlani. Came back and won a stake. Heidi Marie, who's in the stake today. Terra del Fuego, who's in the stake today. She fits nicely in the spot too, is the 3 PS touchdown. And she gets Amadeo Perez, so a little bit of a switch up there, goes to the leading rider. So I have her in third spot. It's 1, 4, and 3 for me.
Yeah, I agree with the one Burning Britches. I think she's the most accomplished sprinter in the race. Yeah. And this race is only 6.5 furlongs, which I think plays against a lot of the fillies in here, including PS Touchdown, who is 1 for 13 lifetime sprinting, and definitely a better horse, I think, going long. But the race came up, and Burning Britches definitely looks like the best on paper, though. She tried to go along in the Vancouver Sun. That's not her distance. She's back in sprinting. You look at her 2 races sprinting. She galloped in an optional 35 and followed that up with a close runner-up effort to Overvalued in the Breakhouse Bells. So I got to give her top marks. I put the 2 Jezebel in for second. She didn't win last time, but she ran into a good one in Cry in 16 and change. She still ran a big race that day. I think she could be the best of the rest at the 6.5 furlong distance. And I put the 4-horse Castanet Dancer. You're right, she returns to an allowance race in which she's 1 for 1 this year. I think she's better going long, but she's shown she can sprint. She won in the 17 and change there after tracking some slow fractions to defeat Notoriously and Orchid Silver. But Burning Britches is definitely the horse. Yeah. 1, 2, 4 for me in the Sunday opener. On to the second race. Got some 3,000 claimers. Non-winners of 3 lifetime. Fillies and mares here, 6.5 furlongs is the distance. I went to the 5 Fun Again. Just ran last weekend, tracked the speed and of Include the Grand. Couldn't quite get by that one. Bespoke ended up a nice pick by yourself. Get 10 to 1, ending up winning it that day. But Fun Again, easier competition here. I think this race has come up a lot easier than the last one she was in. I got to go to her to win it. I think she's probably going to get the trip sitting off of the 1-horse Fools Never Know. I think she'll run big from there. I put the 4-horse BMT in for second. I can give her 1 more shot. Distant third last time sprinting, but that was against Maida Vale in a pretty fast time. Things shouldn't be as swift this afternoon. And I put the Speedy Fools Never Know in for third. I went 5, 4, and 1. I definitely like the 5-horse though. Fun Again off of that last one.
I'm right with you. I totally agree that Fun Again's the horse to beat in here. That was not an easy nowhere's the year for 5. No. Where you run into horses that have won, multiple races. Now she comes back into a non-winners of 3
restricted race
straight. Yeah, so she looks really good in here. I have even though she did run last week, I don't think it's too big a knock against her to not pick her today. So I have the 5 on top. I agree. BMT I think is the best of the rest of them. I have her in second, and I agree with you in the third spot. Fools Never Know, horse that just win the non-2 condition here. She's goes into the non-3 where she fits as well. So it's 5, 4, and 1 for me, exactly the same as my partner here. On to the third race, 3-year-olds and up, claiming open 25,000, a field of 6, and another really solid race. It's a good card today. Yeah. I went to the now horse, Tommy Danziger. He's got the back class, a former Canadian Derby winner. You see he's made 340,000. Found his level at 17.5, knocked out 2 daylight wins there. Takes just the logical next step up to 25. Looks like he should probably get the lead by himself. And there are a lot of closers in here, not a lot of speed to go with him. So I think he's home and sailed. So I took him, the 2 on top. The second spot, I took a horse, Franzer's Finest, who made his second start of the year last time. His first start kind of got lost in that Gamby race and just ran kind of an even race. Right. Came back into another optional 35. Where Majesticality won, ran a really good second, only got beat a length by Majesticality. That was going a mile and 1/8 takes a little tick back to a mile and 16th here, and the class relief to 25 I think is enough to put him in second spot. And in the third spot, another horse taking a class relief coming out of a stake is Silly Fella. Whenever he's ran for 25, he's in the mix, so I got him in third spot. It's 2, 4, and 5 for me.
Yeah, I agree with Tommy Danziger. Those have been powerful races he's run. He's a classy old hide. The jump up to 25,000. What do you do with him? I mean, 25 is, they're only 40, optional 40s now. So, I mean, there's no...
25 or 17, yeah, it's kind of a gap after the 25.
Yeah, so this is definitely the spot to be. Pretty easy win and an excellent time over next out winner Quentin's Destiny. So, yeah, I got to go back to him. He's a definite wire-to-wire candidate again. I put the one Queechy in for second. Boy, this horse really freaked. Come back after running poorly against Tommy Danziger. Maybe he didn't care for the wet fast track that day because he came back in around 143 and change on a wet fast track a week later. Was claimed that day in the first run for the River's Edge Racing Stables and Greg Tracy, and Inoue Beato will retain the mount. So I think this is probably the one that might, you know, if anyone comes running at Tommy Danziger on the final turn, which maybe there won't be, but if there is, it might be Queechy. I put the 5 Silly Fella in for third. I agree the class drop's got to help. Anytime this horse is in at the high claiming level, he's got to be pretty tough. So I went 2, a 1, and 5. On to the fourth race, got some maiden $20,000 2-year-olds going 6 furlongs, got 8 scheduled. I've gone to the 2 Proud Victor, a good runner-up effort to prohibiting in an optional 40. Cuts his price in half, a couple of good works, Pedro Alvarado rides, looks like the inside speed. I got to go to Proud Victor to win it. Likely going to be your favorite though, so no secrets there. I'm not telling you anything you don't probably already know. The 3-horse Second Eclipse, wasn't disgraced again in that Fade Rally race, ran third, and I think the stretch out to 6 furlongs will help Second Eclipse. And the 7-horse, La Factor Wow, goes in blinkers for Steve Henson. Had the rail going 3.5 against Officer's Charm and Tiggertown. They went pretty quick there, and the rail definitely isn't the place to be if you get out sprinted the first 16th of a mile. So he's worked well. That nice 5/8 and 102. This horse might be worth a look as well. Might be your price play in here. I went 2, 3, and 7.
I agree with you. The top 2, Proud Victor, definitely looks like the horse to beat, the logical horse in here. I do like Second Eclipse. I thought that was a good race behind Fadrality. I have Second Eclipse, the 3-horse in second spot. And like you, I think then I was kind of searching for another horse in here. I ended up on I Told Frank. Forster's stats, and there's usually his 2-year-olds, the second start, they usually improve a lot. So he's got the out now behind Market Way and 10:30. Market Way came back and won the stake last week. So maybe in his second start, he moves forward enough. He gets Frank Fuentes. I like that move. So it's 2, 3, and 6 for me. And on to the third race, 3-year-olds and up Colts and Geldings. Non-winners of the year for 3,000. And I've gone to the 7-horse Evaluate. Ran into a really tough Dynastrol who was dropping out of the...
yeah, it was unlucky.
Yeah. Unlucky to run into a horse like that for this level. That horse has been running for optional 50s, optional 30s this year. Went to a non-winners of the year for 3,000. Go figure. He wins. Evaluate runs a great race to run second. He's running into nobody like that today. I think he's a standout in here, so I like Evaluate. I have him on top. The second spot, I put number 1, Slickster. Horse who ran third in that same Dynastrol race. Ran a good race just behind Evaluate, so I think he's the second best in here. I have him in second. In the third spot, I have a horse that was favored in these races earlier on in the year, then took a little time off. That's Woomboom Express. He came back run for 7,500, was favored that day. Kind of a disappointing race on opening day. Then came back, non-winners of the year for 3,000, was the heavy favorite, bet right down, and got beat by Arrive. Things maybe weren't exactly perfect with him, so they give him some time off. Bring him back, he's freshened up, goes right for the $3,000 level. I think he's in the thick of it too. So it's 7, 1, and 8 for me.
Yeah, I agree with the 7-horse Evaluate. Even though he isn't as good as he was last year, he's definitely lost a half a step. But still, I think he might be good enough to win in here. The pace scenario should be quite lively. Looking for 3 or 4 of them to set some pretty fast fractions. It looks like there's going to be a good, solid front-end pace in here, and that'll play out nicely for the closing style of number 7, Evaluate, who was second, as you mentioned, to Dynastrol last time. I put the 5, Ambike, in for second. He also exits the Dynastrol race. He's got a little too far back in that big 10-horse field. Had some traffic issues. Did come rolling late. Amadeo Perez sticks with him, so that's a little positive. But the negative is there's 11 horses in here again. But hopefully 4 of them ship off, and there'll be a little less traffic in the middle of the pack, and he might be able to get a better trip than he did last time. So I'm not going to give up on Ambike. And I agree with the 8, Woomboom Express, freshened up. Good work since the freshening, and he's got to be respected at the 3,000 level.
Yeah.
But I've gone to evaluate. I went 7, 5, and 8 in the 5th. On to the 6th race, got some 4,000 claimers. Non-winners of 2 lifetime fillies and mares here going 6.5 furlongs. I'm going to head to the 5-horse LA Superior Court. Takes a big drop from 17.5 in for the non-2-4. Only claimed him for 3. They made the nice jump up to 10, won the money. Were 3rd in a non-2 17.5, but then got waxed in a tough race at the 17.5 3-year-old filly level. There's a lot of speed in that division, and a lot, so I guess you got to get out of there. And since they only paid 3 for him, it's not going to hurt to go down for the 4,000, and likely going to be a short price favorite. Might get some pressure from the 3 Paloma Negra for the front end, but I think she'll be good enough to keep going and run on. If she isn't good enough, then I think the 9-horse Haley's Cupcake Bake will perhaps come and get them. Ran a 2nd last time against Fools Never Know, so that kind of race would be good enough to plot her in the mix this afternoon. And I put the 2 Victor's Miss off a fresh score. Nice score at the maiden 5,000 level. That was her first try on Lasix too, so look for her to continue to improve.
Yeah.
2nd time Lasix, and got a nice win under her belt, got a little confidence going, so maybe look for her to continue to to build and get a little bit better. So she certainly needs to be. But I went 5, 9, and 2.
I agree with you. The top 2, LA Superior Court, I think, is a standout in here. I think she's just much the best. She was knocking heads with some pretty tough mares up at that 17.5 non-2, non-3 level. Takes a big plunge for the non-2 4,000. I think it's just too much to ignore. The 2nd spot, too, one of my favorite names here, Haley's Cupcake Bake. Always like Haley. Got her in the 2nd spot. That was a good runner-up effort, as you said last time. And in the 3rd spot, I put Acceptable Henna, a horse that you've picked her a few times in the past. Just got beat 2 lengths by Breakaway Pass. Gets Pedro was on her before, then Marlo rode her last time when she took the drop. Now goes back to Pedro, a little bit stronger rider. So I think that puts her in the thick of it. So it's 5, 8, and 9 for me. Right. On to the 7th, the feature race, the Strawberry Moor, named after a great mare who ran here, trained by one of our favorites, Alan Jack.
And Aubrey Roberts from Campbell River owned the horse.
That's right. Actually, she had a foal that was running in Europe. It was running a really good Strawberry Daiquiri. Yeah. A little bit of trivia. She also won the first race ever at Emerald Downs.
Yes, she did. Dave Wilson up.
Yep.
We didn't get to see it here either.
Is that right?
We didn't get to see it. The simulcast Emerald had just started, and they didn't have the feed up.
We got
to see the 2nd race. No, it was pretty early in simulcast, 1996. Like simulcasting started at Hastings after Jack Diamond around 93. But 96, Emerald was just kicking in, and they didn't get the signal up.
First day of race ever, so they missed the first race.
Strawberry Moor. And,
I saw it. I was there. I went down for it. Like I say, named after a great mare, and there's a bunch of great mares in here too. This should be a really good race. There's 6 horses in here, and you can make a case for all 6. Yeah. I went with the 3 Heidi Maria. She was a private purchase out of California. Two. Sorry, the 2-horse Heidi Maria. Private purchase out of California. Came up here in her first start over the course. Made no mistake, ran by a very good Tierra del Fuego. So I like her on top. It was a horse, Terlani, who came out of this kind of race, who won the last mare stake. So I don't know if there's any really strong mares in here.
It's not the toughest division.
No, it's probably, like you say, it's not the toughest division here at Hastings right now. So I went with the 2 Heidi Maria. The 2nd spot I put Cage Mistress, likely to be a short price. I think she's been dying for a dry track. She hasn't had one yet this year. She finally gets on a dry track. 3rd race in the cycle, so I like her. 5, Cage Mistress in 2nd. And the 3rd spot I put Overvalued. Another horse probably going to be a short price in here. Win the stake 2 back. Ran a good 2nd behind Terlani in her last one. And don't see any reason why she can't be in the mix here too, so I have her in 3rd. But like I say, you could look at it a lot of different ways.
Yeah, Orchid Silver, Tierra del Fuego.
And Wanda Woman too, right?
I tried to make a case for Tierra del Fuego. I'm sure she can win. She went 23-1, 46-4, 111. Ridiculous fractions, and got beat by a horse that had been running, Heidi Maria. It was only her 2nd race of the year, Tierra del Fuego. But I don't know, I don't see a fast pace to help Wanda Woman, who I liked last time. Yeah. So I'm going to go to Overvalued. I think she can probably sit the trip off of Cage Mistress, or she might even shake loose. Who knows? I don't even know how the race is going to set up. Overvalued, definitely, one of the top mares here at Hastings, and when she runs her A race, she's generally on the money. So I'll try her. I put Cage Mistress. I agree with you. I think she just needs a fast racing strip to show her best, and she'll be better than her last couple of runs. And I put Wanda Woman in for 3rd. Must respect her. She was a 2-time stakes winner last year. Yeah. Might like the 1 1/8, but we're only going 1 16. She may prefer the 1 1/8 that she'll get on BC Cup Day, where she might be more of a factor. But I don't know. She's going to need a pace to run at but I don't know if she'll get it. Heidi Maria and Orchid Silver, 2 capable fillies as well. So a good 6-horse field that really, as you mentioned off the top, can make a case for any of them. Yeah. So, but it'd go to overvalued. I went 6, 5, and 4. 8th and final, maiden 5 granders, Colts and Geldings here, 6.5 furlongs is the distance. I've gone to the 7-horse Bertorni. Yep. I have no idea who to pick in here. I went to Bertorni, and just off, he has some speed, it's dropping. That was enough for me to pick the horse. I just looked up and down, just found horses that I couldn't pick, and I just ended up running out of horses. Yeah. And even though this horse is no superstar,
he doesn't have to be today.
At the level, this horse might be able to get, get a little pace break. Because each time he's run, he's been pressured on the head end, and maybe at this level he won't be. The son of Bertrando might be able to shake loose and get Brave, and we'll see if that's the way the race shapes up. Put the 3 Brave Star in for second. I was up in Princeton the day that this guy won. He missed the break by about 5 lengths, circled the field. There wasn't much to circle, but he did it in a decent way. Goes first time Lasix, and I put the 6 Dick Stein in for third. Horse that took some action in his first up run because of his decent work tab. Enrique Gonzalez stays for the hot John Snow, and that Pacal race ended up coming up tough, 117. That was ridiculous for maiden 5. Yeah. So not surprising he wasn't in the mix that day, but maybe in this spot. I went 7, 3, and 6 in a race that I don't know, anyone can take it. I
ended up going with Brave Star just because, as you mentioned, it was in Princeton, so he wasn't running against a whole lot. But he made no mistake, won his first out. That's
undefeated.
He's undefeated, and there's a lot of horses in here that don't really have a whole lot to go on or really impressive form. So I put him on top. Horse you just mentioned, Dick Stein, second start. He's got a license to improve, so I have Dick Stein in the second spot. And the horse you picked on top, Bertorni, I have in the third spot. For the reasons you mentioned, I have the same horses, just jumbled around a little bit different order. I like Brave Star because it comes out of a strong barn, the Greg Tracy barn. The 1 start and he wins, so I'll give him the edge in here. So it's 3, 6, and 7 for me.
One other one in here, maybe the 2-horse Sir Ron Rico, shortening up off that mile in the 16th race. Last couple of sprints. That 4th place run behind Finally Proud, Excess Dividend, and Quillo's next out winner, Quillo's Trick, wasn't a bad race. Now you got to read a bit into it and try and you have to try and find positives on some of the form of these horses, but perhaps the 2-horse Sir Ron Rico for a piece of it as well. Well, that'll do it for our Sunday analysis. Up next on screen will be our selections. Quick recap of the Sunday picks. And in the first race, I've gone to the 1, Burning Britches. I went 1, 2, and 4. Second race, I went to the 5, Fun Again, 5, 4, 1. Third race, pardon me, I went to the 2, Tommy Danziger, 2, 1, and 5. Should be a good race. Fourth race, I went to the 2, Proud Victor, went 2, 3, and 7. The fifth race, I went to the 7, Evaluate, the Classy 9-year-old. Hopefully he can get back in the winner's circle. I went 7, 5, and 8. Sixth race to the 5, LA Superior Court over the 9 and 2. In the 7th race, the Strawberry Morn, I've gone to the 6, Overvalued over the 5, Caged Mistress, and the 4, Wando Woman for third. And the 8th and final, went to 7, Bertorni over the 3 and 2, 7 with 3 and 2.
And on to my picks. They look a lot like Mike's picks. The first race, I agree. I went with the 1, Burning Britches over the 4 and the 3. The second race, I went with the 5, Fun Again over the 4 and 1. In the third race, again with Mike, I went with the 2, Tommy Danziger over the 4 and 5. In the fourth race, I went with the 2, Proud Victor over the 3 and 6. In the fifth race, I went with the 7, Evaluate over the 1 and 8. And in the sixth race, again with Mike, the first 6, I agree with Mike. Number 5, LA Superior Court over the 9 and 8. In the 7th race, the Mare Stake, I went with number 2, Heidi Marie over the 5 and 6. And in the nightcap, I went with number 3, Brave Star over the 6 and 7.
Well, that'll do it for the Sunday, July 15th edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. We wish everyone lots of luck in your wagers. Should be a great weekend at Hastings. Enjoy the festivities. A couple of great stakes races this weekend, including closing things off on Sunday with the Strawberry Morn, named after the great race mare, Hall of Fame mare, trained by Ellen Jack, ridden by Jerry Algene and Dave Wilson. Actually, we're both the riders on That's Strawberry Morn. But just a cool horse that definitely deserves a race named in her honor. So enjoy the 8-race program.
One thing we should mention before we go is New Stride is having a fundraiser in the tent.
This day, on Sunday the 15th.
On Sunday in the tent, which is the west side of the grandstand.
The marquee tent. Tickets are $55. You get a buffet, a cocktail, There's a silent auction with some great stuff.
Some great stuff, yeah. Some great stuff coming into that.
Some cool stuff from Mario Gutierrez. There's a lot of great things. So come on out. $55. All the proceeds goes to New Stride, which is the thoroughbred adoption agency for retired racehorses. It's a great program. I know I'm involved with the program. They are turning over quite a few horses that have been retired, and we're getting them to be trained to be jumpers or event horses or whatever. And it's great. It's great that these horses will move on to other careers. And New Stride is definitely a worthy,
very worthwhile cause.
Yeah. So come on out and. Good point. Come on out on Sunday to the Marquee Tent. $55 tickets on Sunday, July 15th. Support the Thoroughbred Adoption Agency. All right, good luck on the day. Look forward to seeing everyone next time here on Handicappers Corner.
I'm picking Valentine, cause on the morning line, the guy's got him figured at 5 to 9. But make it epitaph, he wins it by a half. According to this here in the Telegraph. For a beer I'll bite, I hear his foot's all right.